Y'all know this guy, Tekashi 69. Y'all remember him? He's been kind of quiet, at least until his arrest back in October of this year. But there was something we want to discuss about people like Tekashi. Um, More so along his story as to why he has still been allowed to be free. And we'll tell you why what we mean by that. Back in 18, there was an allegation of him um, having an inappropriate expedition with a younger person, a 13-year-old. And he was 18 years old, by the way. Okay, so I want you all to know that the age group difference is about 5 years, but of course it doesn't matter because the person is still 13. So hear me out. The case was that he was making a music video, and in the music video, this young person was in there doing some inappropriate things, and he eventually got brought to before the magistrates and all this stuff. And he said, "Well, I didn't mean to do nothing. There was nothing really done by me. This was just a one time thing. I'll plead guilty to it if you can just settle and not put me on the registry." He was never put on the registry. The thing is, it was kind of off. Like, why would you not put you? This is something you did with a minor, right? Yeah, then you should be on the registry. No, not really. We're not going to put you on the registry. Fast forward to a couple of days in his life, and there was some more issues that pop up. Nothing to do with underage people anymore, but all along the lines of drugs. However, this particular situation with that young girl gave an inside view of who he really was. And he kind of gave everybody the full inside view of who he was in another video that was taken on a cell phone. Now, what I'm going to say will take you some math to kind of figure through what I'm saying, because I'm not going to be able to say exactly what I'm saying without saying exactly what I need to say. And for those of you who can read code, help those that can't, because I don't want to say what we need to say. Okay, so hear me out. In this video, he was talking about a certain thing that you can use that most of the elites have used for a long time at the expense of people just like the one he was accused of abusing when he was making that music video. Now, this particular substance is something that we all know has been going around the globe for a while now. It's you can't talk about it. It's like Voldemort, you can't mention the name. And in this video, he was talking about it almost as though it was like normal to have. This is, I think, why Takashi has not been touched. Y'all might say it's a stretch, and that's fine. It's okay to say it's a stretch, but I would like to see any disapproval to the topic here for real quick. He's one of the few. If you remember carefully, the other one that has been very vocal about it was Johnny Depp, right? Johnny Depp ain't been in no trouble. Even with this Amber Heard thing, everybody still considers Johnny Depp the man, the myth, the legend, right? But he's also been out and talked about it and was happy to speak about it. The other person, no trouble, Sandra Bullock. Now, we say this to say this. With Takashi, though, because he's been through the court system multiple times with just slaps on the wrist at every point, we believe it's because he's not only just one of those people that dabbles in it, but he peddles it. This is why he's still free. This is exactly why he's untouched. People like him, and hey, look, and if it might be conspiracy, but you might not be. But when you kind of take this idea and put it on the many people you've heard speak about it, you've heard amplify it, you've heard talk like rave reviews about it, have they been touched? Have they ever been looked at in a bad light? Have they ever gone through anything if they speak about it so willingly and openly? You can't name one. I bet you can't name one. Takashi was one such person. Now you might say, well, he's such an upstart. Ain't nobody really talking about Takashi. He's not that talented. He's not that known, but he is very well known. You might not know him in a positive way, but you know him. Skittle Boy, Rainbow Child, whatever you want to call him, Mr. Colorful. His look alone is outlandish. We get that, but that I think is an effort to make sure the persona is seen. That video was very telling. If you go watch it, you'll know exactly what we mean. This particular topic is very taboo. It's one we've stayed away from because of obvious reasons. You can't say it on this platform. You can't be saying it very many places actually because it's too real. But this is what we believe is the linchpin keeping him from one, being on the registry, and two, really serving any true time, regardless of how many times he's relapsed, how many times he's been. Now, remember, he went to prison. He went to prison in 18, got out for, I think, compassionate release, goes back in for a few days, comes back out, always on probation, nothing ever really sticks, and there's no real punishment ever implemented on him. And he's one of the smaller people. You would think he'd be a throwaway, right? No, not a throwaway. He might be being kept in line. Yes. Making sure that he does what he's supposed to do. Yes. Making sure people know that I can still reach out and touch you, Tekashi. Make sure you keep doing what you're supposed to do. Yes. Get rid of? No. Too valuable. He might be too valuable to the entire scheme of things for them to get rid of him. All the allegations out of these bigger names, right, about them having something to do with kids has gone crazy. How many of you have ever heard of that, what happened to Tekashi? Not many. The reason not many have heard it is because of that very thing. We believe, we believe, we believe. All this thing I remember he said some years ago about him being kidnapped and all this. I think all of that had to do exactly with this particular ointment. Seriously. And look, if there are some of us who followed it for forever. There's some of us who tried to talk about it, and there's some of us who make sure people are aware of it. And to our chagrin, either our platforms have been removed, we've been ostracized from the social media, or gotten in trouble in some way, shape, and form. But these people talk about it out loud in public, and nothing seems to happen to them. You don't find that kind of suspicious? Takashi's no one off. Like I said, he's not a one off. He's just the most vibrant one by color, I mean. He's just the most vibrant one. Nobody can tell me that messing with a 13-year-old, especially if you read the court case of what they were saying was taking place, he should have been on the registry. Like automatically on the registry. There have been people put on the registry for just having images for crying out. Let me put this into perspective for you. Your post office guy that's behind the desk could have 5 to 10 images on his computer and he could get put on the registry. I want you to understand he hasn't done anything with any minors. He just has images of it. This man put one in a music video, was present, and things were being done. No registry. If you can explain it to me. If you can explain that, explain it to me. The only explanation based on the video we saw was that he is intentionally doing something to keep himself in the loop to stay out of trouble. Peddling it. Now, again, the reason we say it is because he's not in the chair. If you look at the video, he's not in the chair, someone else is. And he's given a thorough breakdown of what it is. So he knows full well what it is. Almost like, what was that show that used to be around sometime? Breaking Bad. That's what it was, Breaking Bad. And this guy was peddling meth. And he was just one of the best. And he could tell you everything about it. Tekashi almost acts the same way with this thing. Could it be? Oh, well, with the elites the way they are, of course it could be. 100% it could be. And he's not the only one. He's not the only one, except that he is one of the more prolific ones that people have never heard about. There might be more cases out there with his name on it, and it could be something coming up and we don't know about it. But he's being protected because he's doing exactly what he's playing his role. He's playing his part and he's doing exactly what he was told to do. And for that, he gets the publicity, he gets the money, he gets the fame, he gets what he wants, and he's doing exactly what he's told and he's fine. If you can debunk it, I look forward to it. I would look forward to someone debunking this or putting this to rest and saying, well, he did this and well, that'd be good. If you could, please tell us. But our conspiracy, and again, most people that think conspiracy theories, it's probably already happening. But our theory on this one is that the reason why he's been able to evade full punishment of the law is because he's dealing with the kinds of things that most aren't talking about, cannot talk about, but is being perpetrated throughout the industry. He might be one of the middlemen in this because you can't be talent. Yeah, I have to put my 2 cents. There is no way you can tell me that what Tekashi's doing is based on talent. That man ain't making money based on what he's offering society by music. I can tell you that one. 2 songs? Nah. Mm-mm. There's something more. And this one seems to have the most credence to it as to why he is being the kind of person he is and why he's so still free and why he's not really being punished to the full extent of the law. I will look forward to reading your comments on this one because this one could set off a quite an interesting conversation. However, I have one request of you, just one. If you don't mind, if you're aware of what I'm talking about, please, please don't put it in the comments spelled out. Okay, that's my only request. Don't spell it out. Heck, you might be able to put, like, I don't know, the chemical equation in there if you can calculate it, but please don't spell the word out. If you know what it is, you'll understand why this makes sense. And I look forward to reading your comments about Tekashi 69.